So, a couple of weeks ago, in September, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg proposed a policy that limits soft drink cup sizes to no larger than 16 ounces. According to the Huffington Post, under the plan, restaurants, fast food joints, delis, movie theaters, sports stadiums, and food carts will be barred from selling sugar-sweetened drinks in cups larger than 16 ounces. The limits will not apply to drinks sold in grocery stores, diet sodas, drinks that are more than 70% fruit juice, or drinks that contain alcohol. The ban passed on September 13th this year, and will take effect in March of next year if all goes right. The main point of this ban is to limit obesity in New York City. But there's a lot of debate over whether or not it will actually help with reducing obesity. So my proposition is that the ban in New York that limits soda sizes to 16 ounces will reduce obesity. My three supporting points are that the ban will decrease obesity by raising awareness about obesity, that it will lower the amount of junk calories that people take in, and that it will urge people towards healthier choices while still providing alternatives. Let me start by defining obesity. Obesity is not the same as being overweight. It just means having too much body fat for one's height. About 70% of American adults are overweight or obese, and that's a lot of people. So my first supporting point is that the ban will raise awareness about obesity. This ban has been getting a lot of media attention, partly because the mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, is known for ideas that spread across America. Because New York is such a heavily populated area, it's sort of like a testing ground for new ideas. So maybe you guys have seen on fast food menus that the calories are written up on the board. That's an idea that Bloomberg started in New York that took off and spread across America. So people are saying if this ban started in New York and it works out, then it'll probably spread all over. So it's getting a lot of media attention because it might be instituted in different cities all over America. So it's not that America doesn't know about obesity. America's already trying to lose weight. A lot of people just don't know how. According to the Livestrong Foundation, 45 million people die every year, but we still have an obesity epidemic in America. So the reason for that is because people don't realize how their bodies metabolize calories, and so they don't pay attention. They don't pay as much attention to the calories that they're taking in. For example, the 16-ounce cup, that's the biggest size that will be allowed under this ban, is the same as the McDonald's small. It holds about 150 calories of soda. The next size up is a 24-ounce cup. It holds 210 calories. That's like an eighth of all the calories you're supposed to take in a single day. And people don't pay attention to that when they're drinking. So the hope is that this ban will raise awareness about calories, which will help lower obesity. My second supporting point is that the ban will lower the amount of junk calories that people take in. So according to a University of North Carolina study, nearly a quarter of our calories come from the liquids we take in, since we don't regulate what we drink as much as what we eat. For example, let's say you go to McDonald's and you want a snack. A lot of people would rather buy a McFlurry than a Big Mac because they think it has less calories. But if you go and you buy a Big Mac, that's 550 calories. If you buy a Roll McFlurry, that's 12 ounces, that's 700 calories. That's a lot of calories. So people don't realize that what they're drinking has a lot of effect on their diet. So the hope is that this ban will lower the amount of junk calories that people take in by making them more aware of what they drink. Another reason is that soda drinking will decrease by default, just because Americans, the ban doesn't prohibit you from buying more than one soda or from going back to refill your cup. But since Americans are basically lazy, it's pretty likely that they'll just buy the one soda and then the amount of soda that they take in will decrease by default. And then my third supporting point is actually a refutation against a popular argument against this ban, which is that people should be able to choose what they drink, even if it's killing them. So the government should not be able to regulate what people are eating or drinking. But this ban is only providing more healthy choices while still providing alternatives. The government isn't completely regulating people's diets. So soda contains acid, caffeine, sugar, and artificial sweeteners. And anyone who has ever had a need for caffeine or sugar will know that those things are addictive. But when you drink soda, you're not only consuming the caffeine and sugar, but you're also consuming acid and other things that are bad for your body. So the things that you're drinking are addicting, but they're also really bad for you. So the government is protecting people by trying to lower the amount of this bad stuff that they take in, which will help them lose weight. And so I'm not saying that all food should be regulated or that indulgence is a bad thing, but this ban is only being put in place to protect people from being obese and try to make America be healthier. By providing smaller portion sizes and a little bit of education, this ban will help prevent obesity not just in New York, but all over America.
That's not that phone ringing, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, the structural stuff is all solid, I think, except in the middle of the speech where I thought one of the labels wasn't quite as clear as it was in the preview. You did a pretty good job coming up with some hypothetical examples. I think you need some more data, maybe some comparison to other regulations that have had a similar kind of effect. You make the comparison, for instance, to the caloric labels that have been put on food menus all over the place. That, I think, is probably not a bad idea. Is there a demonstration that people have paid more attention to their calories as a result of that? That would be the kind of information that would show that this policy would work and have an impact on somebody. So if you could show that after New York adopted those caloric labels that people suddenly consumed less, they didn't get the Big Mac, they got the half Mac or whatever it is that cuts down on the calories or something like that. I think that would be good comparable data for you to have on that point. There seems to be an inference that the action at New York is going to have an influence on others, and you kind of talk about it as being sort of a bellwether situation. And again, you use the same comparison about the calorie count thing. I think the calorie count thing is a result of the rules promulgated by HHS under the Obama healthcare rules. Now, maybe those were inspired by the Bloomberg policies, although I seem to remember hearing debates about this over the last 5 or 10 years, so I know I've had debates in class, so you might want to check your data on that particular point. I thought you did an excellent job presenting the material to the audience and couching it in terms that are likely to get some support. The rebuttal argument that you have is really directed toward a value issue, and I understand that in the context of a larger argument that might be appropriate, but in the context of the factual claim that you're making, I don't think that that's necessary. All right, thank you.